Hello. Gotta. Whew. Things are falling. Okay. I think you can hear me okay. Good. All right. Oh, need to keep that up. Yes, Lynn. It's hot. It is so hot. Let me see what the weather is right now. I know we were having a cooler day today. So let's see what it is. I guess my internet's slow today. I don't know. Where's my, or maybe it's just this app. It's 92. It's a balmy 92. We've been up to about 103 this past week, which has been absolute torture. Even to me, 92 is absolute torture. But of course, I am used to it. Used to it. Yeah, seriously. When you grow up here, I keep talking to people about this. The older I get, the more I can't stand it. But when you grow up in it, you're fine as a kid. You can sweat and be gross and just it not bother you, and I'm finding out that everything that like my grandma or my nanny or anybody told me, like, yeah, is very true. It gets hotter. Oh, Jacqueline. Yeah, Florida, it rains all the time. So it's supposed to rain today sometime. It rains every day. Um, but in Florida rain is way different than rain out west because we get rain for like sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes it'll be all night. Most of the time it's about an hour. And it'll rain right here at my house, but the house across the street, it won't be raining. It's the weirdest phenomenon ever. But it's really nice because actually it's not nice because it does make it more steamy, but our plants and all that I don't even touch look beautiful all the time. Our trees are gorgeous, everything's gorgeous, but it also adds to the allergies because we get a lot of mold around here. And so I'm highly allergic to mold and, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you're going to have funky things happen everywhere anybody lives, right? Out in California and that side of the world, you guys deal with earthquakes and things that I'm just like, oh, and then here we deal with hurricanes in which we're all like, hold my beer. Here we go. We're so used to it. It's just like, okay, you've got your hurricane preparedness kit at all times. We're buying a generator this year. I'm so excited. I'm more excited about buying a generator than I ever thought I would be. But you can live. We've lived. I've lived my whole life. Yeah, Becky, I lived in Sarasota too at one time. Yeah, it's true. It'll rain in the front yard and not in the backyard. It's the weirdest thing. And in Sarasota, it rained at 3 o'clock every day during the summer. I swear it was this 3 o'clock thing. It loved to rain at 3 o'clock. We just shake and bake here in California's Valley. Yeah. But but I love the weather there. It's so comfortable to me. And maybe it's because the humidity is out of it. But depending on, I guess, where you're at. I've only really been on the coast side of it, so it always felt really comfortable and nice. 3 to 4 every day. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Just rain, rain, rain. Hello. Let's see. I'm going through. We need rain. Yeah, Sheila, roast in. Yeah, Ronnie. Oh, that's not too bad. 84. My ideal weather would be between 70 and 80 for me. And that's cold for a lot of people here in Florida, but for me, it's like super comfortable. That's when you can open your windows up. I love that with this guy here hanging out. I love being able to open up the windows. Norma says it's better than Missouri. It rained every day for weeks. Then it was 97 with a heat index of 107. I understand. Yeah, Donna. Okay, so yeah, Donna, she says she lives near Orlando, and that's kind of in that same middle state area. It does. It rains at 3 o'clock every day in the middle of the state. I swear. San Francisco, that's so pretty. And Yosemite between, that's a pretty area. I like that area too. Except Dorothy, 72 here. Ugh, not fair. Yeah. So Melody's from Arizona and it's 108, and that is a totally different heat than I'm used to because again, we get the moisture and I'm sure hers is really dry, so it feels like a billion times different. We one time I was teaching out in, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Where was I at? Seems like Washington, but it felt like a desert. And it was like that. It was like 100 and something, completely dry. And I had never experienced that. I was like, oh my God, I'm not even sweating. It's so weird. But I like Florida because it does my hair good. 79 in Washington. All right. Well, it's so funny to see where everyone's from and see what's happening weather-wise in your places. So, hi everyone. Okay, that's enough weather talk. I hope I was just giving y'all time to join on. Hope everyone's doing great today. I have something cute for today, as you saw on the post about it. Um, you've seen these out there. If you're on a lot of the baby lock groups, or excuse me, the baby lock educator groups, I know I've seen it done on their groups. I've seen it done on YouTube videos. It's not anything that's really new. And you've probably made these before, but I've always wanted to do a little video on it because I just think they're so cute and I've never made them before. Ever have I ever made a notebook cover in my life? And I'm like, well, just trying to think of new things to, or different things to do on the group. So again, this is not my idea. I've just seen it out there and I've just tried to tweak it to, I don't know if it's any different. I've never really watched any of the videos. I just kind of just, or except for YouTube, I watch the ones on YouTube, but I never, or I really don't know if I'm doing it the right way, but it seems to work. And it's really cool. Hey, Janet. Um, but it's really cute and so cute that last night I had to make two of them. I just, I mean, it was so cute. Excuse me one second, guys. Excuse me, I'm sniffling. I don't know why, and I'm getting a runny nose. So hopefully, and I don't feel bad. I feel good. Probably just allergies. That Jason, actually, he was able to cut the grass by himself today. That was really exciting. I know he's really excited about that. And so I think he stirred everything up. So excuse me 1 second. I'm so sorry. This is so unprofessional. Okay. So we were able to, he's able to, I think that made him feel really good that he was able to, mowed the yard on his own. And meaning, I shouldn't say on his own, but not having to hire someone because we've had to have other people do it. But today, this is a great day, guys, and let me tell you why. Today is 6 months to the day when we found out everything that was happening with Jason, and that means 6 months later, he's doing great, and he gets to start driving again. So he's going to go to the DMV and get back started tomorrow. So it's actually a good day. I'm happy for him because I know he's ready to be more independent. So yeah, yay. Okay, so let's get back to why we're here. So I made these cute little covers, and of course I had to make one with Queen Bee here. But we have our contest going, and I'm like, well, what's a project that you could use the designs that Hope provided for you for our little contest? And if you're new to the group, yeah, it's a huge milestone. If you're new to the group, if you scroll all the way up, you'll see a post about our giveaway that we're doing. We're hit 3,000 members. And I was like, well, only a couple of you have posted projects on the page. And remember, in order to be put into the pot to go or to be entered into the giveaway, you have to make a project. Now, I have also said that if you go to Hope's page or Paige's page, which all that information is in that post, and comment on this specific post, that your name will be entered a second time. But you have to do the first thing first. You have to make a project using one of the two designs that Hope provided for us, and and post it to this group first. So I really think we only have 3 or 4. So I really want everyone to go and be involved in this. It's a lot of fun. Why not? And they're free designs. You got 2 free designs to choose from. So I thought, well, this was how else could they use these? And so I grabbed the Crazy Plant Lady one, and I was like, okay, well, we can make a little notebook cover out of that one. And this is I'm sorry, I can't remember the whole embroidery line, but this is from Hope Yoder, the Crazy Plant Lady. It has a little bit of applique. I did use her, and I know that light's bad, but I did use the Embellish matte threads. They are a polyester thread coated to look like cotton. And I used her fabric, which is, she's going to get me for forgetting this. Her daughter helped her design this fabric, and it's, I'll take this out so you can see it. So this pretty mottled like blue fabric, and then there's some green, but inside, look at that cacti. I love this fabric, and you can still find, she said you can still find some of it on her website. So that's hopeyoder.com. Really, really easy to find. So that's how I did this one. The next one, I said, well, I need one for myself because my mom had mentioned the other day that her neighbor needed something with this on here. So I'm just going to give that to my mom to give to her neighbor. And I'm like, well, I need one for me. And so, of course, y'all know I had to put Queen Bee on there. And here is the fabric. Let's pull that out. Here's the fabric. So this is fabric from Mila and Z, which is Zandra Shaw's and her sister Mila's fabric line. And of course, she has bees. And, who is the first one to buy bees? Me. And so this is really cute. So go check out their website for that. But this design right here is by Evie Hawkins of A Bit of Stitch. She has a cute collection of I think it's called Queen Bee collection. So you'll have to go out there and find it too. It's really, really cute. The one that I'm sorry, guys. The design I'm going to be using today is, I cannot remember where I bought them, but it is a font, and I'll show it to you guys, that's called I Love Glitter. So if you like this font, just go out there and to Google and type in I Love Glitter embroidery font, and you'll find it. I just cannot remember who made it. I bought it a while back, and it's really cute. So I'm just going to put an initial on the one that, we demoed today. It's super easy. You will see how fast it is to make this thing. And that's why I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and make another one last night, because they take no time to, number one, design. They take no time to stitch out. The parameters are, this is the weird thing. Because if you go out to any store and buy these little books, I went to the dollar store and I got a couple of these little books right here. And if you go out, you're going to find that they're all different sizes. I had another one. So there's like this, I don't know if you would consider this a medium, kind of a medium size. And then you have smaller ones like this. And then you have the regular notebook. You're going to have to just measure the notebook. Now, they have measurements on the back, but what I did is I went ahead and opened it up and measured it on my cutting mat, because you still have this spine that is not included in the measurements here. And what I decided is, I'll use this one. What I decided was, once I opened this up, it measured, what was it? 11 by 8 inches. On the back, it says 4 by 7. So, so that's this way, just this right here. So you want to open it up and measure it this way, and then of course measure it this way. And actually what I came out with is 11 by 8. So what I decided, no, I'm sorry, it was 7 by 10, excuse me. It was 7 by 10 when I measured it. So what I decided when I was designing it is I would just add an inch to both of those measurements. So instead of the 10, I'm going to, when I design it, make the length 11. And when and the width was 7. So I added an inch onto that, and it's 8. Now, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. I thought it was going to be too tight, but it actually gives you a lot of wiggle room. And if you want to make it, go half an inch instead, but you can see here, I have a lot of room in there. And I think that's kind of good, because maybe you go to the store and they're out of these, but you find them at a different store and they're just a little bit bigger, then there you go. So it's really, I can't give you an actual parameter because I don't know what notebook you may have at the house. So what you're going to do is just measure it, open, so your length and your width, and I add an inch. Now, I haven't done it for the small one yet, but I'm assuming an inch would be fine for this too. I don't see why it wouldn't. So it's just whatever, I think I picked this up at Walmart for 97 cents. These were $1 at the Family Dollar. So that's what I'm gonna tell you on that. But the parts that you need for this is, so let's say you are using this exact same size, okay, that you got the exact same book I got. Then what I did is I added 2 inches for the cut of fabric. So here we go. Let's talk about that. Oops, one second. Oh, I can't see your comments. I have to start over here on the Facebook. Let me get you guys back up in case there's questions. One split second. There we go. Okay. I Love Glitter is on DeFont. Yes, Becky. If you want to take that into, if you want to design, if you want to use embroidery software to bring in a font that is like a digital font, DaFont is the place to go. But I think I bought it already digitized, and I just can't remember who. It may be, I'll have to find out about that. Okay, so let me grab a marker, because I think I maybe, because I'm really confusing at math stuff. And so, all right, so step one, we are going to measure. The step one, we measured our notebook, which ended up being 10 by 7. So that's my first measurement, 10 by 7. The second thing I'm going to do is add an inch to both of those numbers. So number 2. So I'm going to say add inch. So that will make it 11 by 8. Okay. That's how big we're going to design it. That's a 7, not an 8. That's how big we're going to design it, 11 by 8. But in order, or what are we going to cut our fabrics at? Because we need a little bit of extra, so we don't get any tug or push or pull, right? So we're going to add 2 inches. And this actually worked good for me. So for the front fabric, and we'll call the inside lining fabric, this is how big you'll need to cut it. So that would be 13 by 10. So the first thing I did was I measured, let me put my finger there. We measured it with it open. Then we added an inch. That is supposed to be an 8. Then we added 2, and this is the cut of our fabric. So cut of our fabric. I know this is so high tech, isn't it? So that means I need a base fabric cut at 10 by 13 and a lining fabric cut at 10 by 13. Now, how did I decide on the folds? Well, I think that's going to depend on, how big everything is. So on a smaller notebook, I would do it smaller than what I cut. But what I ended up cutting for this specific size was 2 6.5 by 10-inch pieces. And then I folded them. Let me get you this one here. Let me get these 2 right here. So 2 6.5 by 10-inch pieces. And then I folded them wrong sides together and just pressed a nice pretty edge. And so the pretty side of the fabric is on the outside. Again, for this one, and you know how I figured out what I liked? Is I actually took a piece of fabric after this part was right before I laid these down in the embroidery hoop. I took a piece of fabric and I folded it and figured out how wide I really wanted this to be. So that's really going to be up to you. But if you're going to use one that is about this size, again, if you buy it, it says 4 by 4 by 7, but really it's 11 by 7 when you open it up. Then I did a 6.5 by 10. And the 10 is the width, not the length. So, and it'll make more sense when we get into doing them. Cindy, good question. Says, can Hope's design be done on cardstock? I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I think almost any design, except for super duper 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 dense designs. And where did I put it? I lost it already. Here it is. And this one, I mean, there is some density to it, but I would just try it and see what happens. Maybe put, I've never done cards, so I don't know if you stick them on sticky stabilizer to stitch them out. If you're feeling like it's too dense, maybe float another piece of tearaway underneath the hoop. So that's a good question. Julie. You're You're my spirit animal. I love that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. The other thing is you've got to have a piece of batting. So your batting is going to be that that third number. Remember, it was the one we added 2 to. I know this is so confusing. That's why I didn't write any of it down, just to confuse you. So the same size we cut our fabric, which is 13 by 10. Okay, so we need a piece of that. And then I'm going to use a no-show mesh. I'm just going to hoop the no-show mesh by itself. And this size is using the 9.5 by 14 inch hoop. So I guess it also depends what hoop you're using. But they all, at least with IQ Designer or My Design Center, start with your largest hoop at 9.5 by 14. So, and today we're going to be working on the meridian because I finally brought it back in the room. It's all set up and she's wanting some love. So I decided we're going to work on her today. But like I said, it's literally 3 to 4 steps. It's super easy. And you need your embroidery design that you want to put on there. It could be an initial. It could be a built-in font. It could be Hope's design. And remember, there's also sewing essentials, which I thought would be really cute on here too, even if you turned it this way, because that could be your sewing notebook when you write your little sewing notes down. It could be, sure, Sheila. It could be a built-in design or it could be a pre-bought design, whatever you want to do. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so let me grab these two guys, put them over by the machine. Let me grab just in case there's more questions about the size, let's grab that guy. And I have, and I'll show it to you already, just because of time's sake, stitched out most of it. So this is the font I was talking about. How cute is that? That is called I Love Glitter. And again, I don't know where I found it. And this little flourish comes with it. It's so cute. But get over there. There we go. But I've already went ahead and pre-done this part. That way you don't have to sit here and watch, paint dry with my embroidery machine, just embroidering all that stuff on there. So let's switch the camera over and here we go. I think I saw a question. Let's see. Yes. Yes. Well, the meridian is, the font is adorable. Because I've been working on a bunch of different machines lately. The meridian's been taking a break and she's been in a different room. And so I think for the next few ones, we're going to work straight from the meridian, just because I haven't given it much love. And you need to use your machines regardless. If they just sit around, they can, just be like, they could be sad, especially if you have, sorry, my nose is itchy, especially if you have a sewing machine and embroidery combo. If you have a sewing embroidery combo machine, please use both sides of the machine, because working at a shop, we would see a machine come in and the owner only embroidered on it. So when they finally went to sewing, their sewing would act up. It would be weird. It wouldn't do what it was supposed to do. And we learned over the years is that you have to use it or you lose it. And so even if you're just using it for embroidery, every now and then, maybe a couple times a month, just go over there and run some stitches, just some straight stitches, some zigzags, just run it, give it a workout. Remember, it is a computer, so it wants to be used, and it's a machine. It likes to be used. So yeah, that's what mine's doing now, huh? So that could, if you don't use one side more, if you use one side more than the other, I mean, I don't know scientifically what that is or whatever you want to call it, why it does that, but that's what we've heard. So found the font on Etsy. Perfect, Jenny. Thanks. Jenny, I am okay if you want to post a a link to that. I will be okay with that if you find it and post it on the group. You can post it in here or outside, it doesn't matter. Okay. All righty. Well, we're going to switch over. It's so cute and it's so easy. Ugh, so easy. All right, here we go. Take my sweet little time here. There we go. All right. Yeah, I totally knocked that one out, I think. Not too bad. All right. I have to turn everything around so I can make sure I see what you're seeing. And also make sure I don't fall. We don't need that bad. Okay, so actually I'm going to go home first. Now remember, IQ Designer is on specific models of baby lock machines. If you have embroidery software, can you build this? Yes, you can build whatever you want in embroidery software, right? So if you don't have IQ Designer, but you have embroidery software, try it in embroidery software. You never know. You can build your own in the hoop projects. They actually really are easy. It's just thinking about how they are. It's like deconstructing them and working backwards to think how they are set up. Sorry, I'm just going to take a little sip. Not of wine, but you know. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to try to get this a little more focused because it does look a little off to me. All right. Yeah, it's still a little blurry, but you know, I don't have the greatest stuff. Okay. Thanks, Jenny. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because it is so cute. And I'll show it to you guys here in just a little bit. Reverse engineering. That's exactly what you have to do in order to build an in the hoop project. And you know, you just start thinking about them. Look at in the hoop projects that maybe you already own and look at the steps. And that's how I design all these, is I look at steps and things. I have to work in systems, meaning like that's how my brain works. It's got to be 1, 2, 3. If it deviates, I'm like, oh, what do I do? So, all right, here we go. Now, again, I digressed. Anything with IQ Designer, you can do this. Anything with my design center, you can do this. So that is the baby lock and the brother machines. So I am working on the Meridian today, and you can see this is an embroidery only machine. So I only have 2 options. The first option that we're going to select actually is our embroidery first. We're not going to go to IQ Designer because we're going to make an outline of our embroidery design. So if I click on embroidery and I shot my, I always say it like that, it sounds so weird, but I shot my design over via or wirelessly via the free database or database design database transfer program. And if you need me to go back over that, I can with you guys. So I'm going to be able to find my design underneath this little Wi-Fi symbol. And mine came in 2 parts. So let me show you, because this is actually a good teaching moment right here. If you've got 2 embroidery designs and you bring them in together, how do you group them? So I'm going to show you that. So I want to use this B. And also I'm going to come down here and go to add, and I'm going to go back to that same little Wi-Fi symbol, and I'm going to grab this little flourish. And for me, the flourish was too big. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come to edit and just move it down. And I actually, because we in our size key, if you didn't know, you have like an, I don't know what to call it, but I like to think of it as kind of like auto digitizing button. This one right here with the squiggly line. What happens with that, if you press it and say, okay, what it's going to do is grab that design and it's going to say, hey, you can take this, make this design 200% bigger or 60% smaller. And we know in embroidery machines, you can only normally go up 20% or down 10%, right? Well, because this machine is so smart, it has something in there that's going to either take out stitches or put stitches in. And that's why on most embroidery machines, you cannot go over 20% bigger or 10% smaller. But with this cool little button right here, I can take it and shrink it down to make it look exactly how I want. And I'm going to move it back down. The other thing that I'm going to do, even though these two are centered, they are actually really centered. The B looks like it's setting way off over here because we have, you know, the width doesn't start right here. It starts here where that little loop is. So what I can do is click on the B, go to my move button. I like to use the move. I don't like to use my fingers, and visually center it. Visually center. I'm really good with that, okay? Now, if I wanted these two to be grouped together, because if I try to move them right now, they're going to move independent, and I want them to move together. On your machines, you all have this button right, this button right here. It is a square, circle, and triangle. So if you tap on that, what it brings you up to is this screen right here. And if you see a button that has pink boxes around those same shapes, go ahead and tap that and say, okay, but there's one more step you have to do. And let me close this. If you don't see this step, or if you don't see anything else except for the colors right here, you need to click the edit button and you have to select this guy right here. It is a circle and a square within a red circle. You have to click that. And once I do, now everything is grouped together. Now I can rotate it, but I can't change the size, right? Because it just doesn't work like that. So I want to actually not rotate this. we're not going to rotate it yet. If you change the size of the design or add two together, if you're only using one design, you don't have to do this part. But if you're using two designs, you've changed the size, or even if you've changed the size of a single design, what I want you to do right now is select memory and save it to the machine memory. And the reason being is we're going to use this again. So if you go and change the size, or if you group things together, we're going to actually leave this screen soon. So if we leave it, we've lost it. So go ahead and select memory. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an outline. And the reason I'm creating the outline, let me show you on this one right here, the queen bee. It's not a great view, but what you can see is I have an outline around the design. And then the fill stitching is on the outside of that. It's not behind it. It's around it. And I like that look so much better than when it's sitting directly on top. And this one's the same one. You can see the outline around it versus on top of the stitching. It's just the way I like my things to look. But, you know, you do you, boo. I don't know. So in order to do that, if your edit is not selected, what you want to do is come down here and you want to select this little flower. So I'm going to click on my flower, and this brings me to the outline distance. This is going to be your magic button for right now. And you can see the black lines are around my design. What I don't like is how close they are to my design. So usually what I do is just press and hold until I'm happy with the distance away from my design. And I'm actually going to, you see how they're joining together like that? So for me, that's perfect. So I can vaguely see my design in the background. It's not a dark color, so you can't see it as well, but I can see my outline and I'm happy with that. Now, here's what you have to do next. You have to select either the memory, or it may say something else. It may say IQ. I can't remember what all of them say, but you're going to have a button down at the bottom right. That's the button I want you to select. And it's going to tell me something. It's going to say, hey, Anna, you're going to find this outline shape inside of IQ Designer, and in order to find it, you're going to look for this button right here. And I'm going to say, okay. And there we go. So I've created my outline. I saved my design because I have changed it. I changed it by making this guy smaller, and I grouped it. Is the B overriding the scroll at the bottom? I don't know if I understand that question. He's sitting above it, and I'm not sure of that answer because I'm not sure of the question. I'm sorry. Is the design on Hope You're Site free? No, the design is here, Wanda. It's going to be on our group. It's up in the files section. You'll find them there. So Cindy, I think I'm just confused on the question. So let me know if there's a, yeah, maybe ask a different, maybe ask in an Anna way, because, you know, big words. You know. So we've saved those. And now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this screen completely. I don't want to be in here anymore. So I'm going to come up to my home button. I'm going to tap it and say, okay. Now, if you didn't save it, it's telling you right here, it's going to say, hey, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. Are you okay with that? And I'm going to say yes, because I've saved. Let's see. Oh, Sheila said she just didn't want the background stitches to go between the two. Oh, yes, Sheila, thank you. Okay, that makes more sense now. I get you. Yeah, I just don't like when the embroidery sits on top of the stitches, or sometimes if you get the order mixed up, the background stitches will stitch on top. Ooh, we don't want that to happen. So yes, I just don't want I'm going to read it verbatim. I just don't want the background stitches to go between the two. Yes, I see what you're saying now. Okay. Thanks. I need all the help I can get. Okay. So let's do something first before we move on into IQ Designer. What we want to do is we want to come up to our settings key right here. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to find my embroidery screen. Here it is. So it'll say embroidery frame display. And I want to make sure that my crosshatch grid is on. This is just good for virtual or for just for sight, for visual. But if yours doesn't have anything there, what I'm going to ask you to put it on is the one that is basically a quarter. Doop, doop, okay? And that's all I wanted on. Now, also the embroidery foot height, I am going to move that up a little bit because we are making it in the hoop project. We don't want the foot sitting on the fabric because we're going through multiple layers. So I always take it up to about 0.100, and that helps raise the foot ever so slightly, especially when you have a lot of layers. I never really have the foot sitting directly onto the fabric. I just don't think that makes a good embroidery. It also can drag the fabric. We don't want anything like that happening. And especially when we have thicker layers, we're trying to keep it above the layers enough that we're trying not to catch actual layers, if that makes sense. So I always like to bring my foot height up to 0.100, and that is set in the inches. Okay. So now that we've got those two things taken care of, I'm now going to go to IQ Designer. And when I look at my screen, you can see that now I have that crosshatch. It's just a good visual for this. And you'll see when we go to put our embroidery design down, it's just going to be a good visual for you. So the first thing that we need to design is basically the background stitching and the area where your embroidery is going to go. So let me pull this guy out. I don't know if you can see it very well, but you can see my background stitching. You can see the big rectangle, and you can see the B right there. I wonder who that's going to be. If she's watching, I don't know if she is. Okay. So what we want to do first is we want to make our box, basically our bounding box, meaning we need to make it the size of the cover that we want. So I'm first going to go into my shapes key here. So that is the key that has the circle and square. So let's go ahead and click that. And you know, guys, all y'all know I love my my rectangles or my squares with the rounded edges, but I'm not going to use that today. I use that for almost everything. But believe it or not, I'm going to use the regular square today. So I'm going to click on this first square right here and say okay. And it's going to bring it in. Now, here's the thing I always like to explain to everyone about this. When you bring it in, you're going to see a red box around it. That means that it is selected. So if you accidentally click off and there's no red box, I can't change this. So in order to grab the red box again, you can always use your back button and it'll put that red box around it. So now what we want to do is go to size. And I'm going to click on that. And again, we are going to change it to that second number. That is the one I added an inch onto. So it says 11 by 8. So I'm just going to use my stretchy ones. I'm not going to use the ones that maintain the same, what is it, aspect ratio or whatever it's called. I'm going to use my stretchy one. So first one I'm going to click is this one right here. And I'm just going to press and hold. And that top number is going to keep going until we get to 11. Almost there, almost there. Oh, went a little too far. So I can go to the one beside it and bring it down. Oh, dang, that was good. I hit it right on 11. Now the bottom number, which is my width, I decided I want it to be 8 inches, so I'm going to use the little stretchy one this way, and we get to 8. Come on, you want to do it. You know you want to. We're almost there. Perfect. Okay, there we go. And now what I'm going to do is just push OK. And what would you think I would want you to do next? I'll give you a second to answer. Those who've taken live classes with me, you'll know what I'm trying to say. Nobody? Okay. Thank you, Judy. Judy, yay! Exactly. We're gonna say, and Melody got it. Yep, we're gonna save this. Cindy, we're almost there. Yes, save it. Save and save often. Because we're gonna use this shape again. And then Mickey, you are next. Yep. Oh, Donna, y'all are getting goodness. Y'all are in my head tonight. So yes. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is save. And then we're going to make it a no-show. So y'all know I love those two buttons. So that's why we're using them. Okay, so let's save it first because we're going to use it a couple times. So if you are on a Solaris, you're going to have the memory key. If you're on the Destiny Altair Meridian, you're going to have this pocket with the arrow going in. So let's go ahead and select that. And I'm going to save it to the machine. And then we're going to do our no-sew line. And there is a method to my madness of why we do what we call a no-sew line. It's actually just going to create a boundary for us. So in order to do that, we're going to come over here. So we've got our line properties and our fill, F-I-L-L properties. Yeah, Cindy, you know me, I talk fast, so you probably need to take notes. So we're going to go to our line properties first. That is this first grouping of 4 icons. I like to select on the little piece of paper. And then what I'm going to select is this little squiggly line with a red line through it. I'm going to tap on that and select OK at the bottom. I'm then going to make sure that I turn my bucket on by selecting it and then tap the line. And you don't see much of a difference happen to that line. But if you were to tap it again, it would make a little knock knock sound. And that means you have done what you were supposed to do, I guess you could say. So now what we want to do is we want to bring in that outline shape. So next what we're going to do is bring in the outline shape and then create the fill background. So in order to do that, if you remember earlier, what it told me to do when I saved that outline shape, it said, hey, Anna, you're going to find this outline shape inside of a button, inside of IQ Designer. Well, we're in IQ Designer, but this button is going to be the circle and square. So I'm going to tap on that circle and square. And then I'm going to look for that same flower that we selected earlier to create the outline. So there it is right there. And I'm just going to tap on it. And there it is right here. Yes, I've already done it earlier, but here it is right here. So I'm going to select it and then say OK. And it didn't bring in the embroidery design, right? Well, that's because in IQ Designer, you can't bring in embroidery designs, but it did bring the outline in for me. And since I know which way that I am going to put this or stitch this out, meaning this, if we're looking at it, this is the cover. So this bottom half is going to be the back side of it. This top half is going to be the front part of it. I need to move this over here, but I also need to rotate it. And just remember, we can rotate it first. If we go to rotate, you're always going to rotate it for this one 90 degrees to the left. And then I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to use my quadrants here. So if I'm looking at my crosshair, I am going to, it's basically made it into a left and right note, or the left and right sides of the notebook cover, or the back in these bottom two quadrants, and the front is in the top two quadrants. So if I were to hit center and then move straight up, it's completely centered. I've just got to visually center it this way, or it's completely centered this way, but I need to just make it centered this way, if that makes any sense. And that's just doing it visually. You could even move it up and down if you wanted to. That's totally up to you. You can put it wherever you want. Okay, now I'm going to select OK. And now I'm going to put those pretty decorative stitches, just like this. So we're looking at this guy. You can see, got my pretty decorative or decorative fill stitches in. I am going to come here to the second grouping of 4 icons. These are your fill stitches. And we're going to select this little piece of paper. Now this is up to you. You can either do a stipple, or you can come to your decorative fill stitches, which are inside this key right here, which is your little, I call it the little bubble key. So if I click on that, this box is going to pull up right here, and you're going to see the word select. Go ahead and select. And here are my fill stitches that I get to play with. And so let's see, what do I want this? Oh, well, I'll just pretend like I'm doing the same one I did earlier. So I'm going to use this basket weave right here. I think it's really cute. And I'm going to select OK. And I can choose a color here if I want. It's up to you. And once you choose your color, just say OK. But now everything looks like it's gone away. Now on your screen, when you're looking at it on your machine screen, you're going to see a very vague outline of those two designs, the square and the outline of the embroidery design. You probably can't see it too well on my screen. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come down here to this bucket in the fill properties. Don't use the top bucket, use the second bucket. I'm going to tap on it and tap in the center of my, or in the box part of my design. And there it is. Ta-da! Super easy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select the next button. We're good here. So this is what's going to stitch out. But here's the thing. If you are on a Solaris 1 or 2, you're going to be able to see your stitches in real time. And what that means is it's not going to look like a drawing, like on the Meridian, Altair, and the Destiny. So if you want to see what your stitch is like before you move on and you are on the Altair, the Meridian, or the Destiny, you're going to select Preview, OK. You're going to look at it and say, you know what, I really want those to be wider. I want them to be more spread out. Don't hit Set, hit Return. Because here we can play with the size of them. And I think I went up to 175 on the sample one. So I can hit Set here. And I can select Preview. OK. I'm not going to even look at the word Set. And you can see they're much bigger. Yeah, I like that. But there's some other things I want to check. So I'm going to hit Return. And if you're on the Solaris 1 or 2, this is what I need you to do. Make sure you're going to look for a button that's similar to this one, and it'll either say on or off. If it says off, I need you to tap it and turn it on. So if it looks like this, where it says off, I want you to make sure you turn it on. This is the outline. You need the outline on. And the reason why you want the outline on is because it almost cuts the stitching time. I'm not going to say in half, but it definitely cuts it down a lot, because what happens is, let me do this. So don't follow me, just watch what happens. So if I do not have that outline on, you can see there's no outline around anything, not even in that center area. And that means that the machine is going to stop and tie off at every one of those little ending places. Do you know how long that's going to take? So if we hit Return and turn the outline on, and let me show you again, let me go to Preview OK, you can see the outline comes on and it stitches in one continuous motion. So if you didn't know about that, the outline really is your friend. All right, so I've changed my size. I've made sure my outline is on. You can play with other things, but for now, I'm going to say I'm happy. And again, if you are back on this screen in the Altair Meridian or the Destiny, you're going to select Preview OK. There we go. Set OK. And for all of my Solaris owners, you do not have a Preview OK. You just have a Set OK. So I'm going to select Set OK. And there's the first part of our design. Now here is where we need to bring in our embroidery design. If we don't do it now, it's going to stitch out at the wrong time. Do we also want to change the thickness on this Solaris? Melody, that is totally up to you. And I'll show you the difference in that, okay? Because that's a good question. You cannot do this on the Meridian or the Altair or the Destiny, but okay, so this one was done in a single thickness. This one was done in the double thickness. It's not a huge difference. So that's really up to you if you want to do, it does waste less thread. And usually that's good for if you really just want to make it look like your traditional quilting look. But, you know, I mean, it's that saying, what is it? 6 in one hand and a half dozen in the other. It's whatever you'd like it to look like. Okay, good question. All right, so we got our first part down, but what we're going to do is now add our embroidery design. So you want to find the word add. Usually it's generally down here at the bottom. And since we saved our embroidery design earlier, if you had to, then I saved mine to the machine, or you can just go find yours wherever it was, if it's on a USB or wherever. And here it is. It's always the last one the last one you save is always going to be up at the top left. So let's click on that and hit set. But you notice it's in the center, it's not over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit, rotate. Remember, I rotated it 90 degrees to the left. Oops, I hit one too many. I'm going to take it and center it inside of that outline area. And for me, for some reason, it looks like it's a little too high. So what I'm going to do is just bring it down a little bit. Oh, that was way too much. Very sensitive keys here. And just make it aesthetically look pretty. And that's pretty. I'm happy with that. So I can say, okay, once you're done with that part, we're good to go. And now we've got 2 more steps and they're super quick. You ready? Don't blink. So this is first what's going to stitch out. It's going to stitch out on our front piece, and our batting is going to be up under our front piece. And I'll explain all that later. But now we need to make the piece or the stitch line that tacks your 2 side pieces down to hold your notebook in place. And then lastly, your lining in place. So we're going to go to add. And this time we're going to come to IQ Designer, and it could be in somewhere on this screen. So just look for it. And we're going to recall that very first rectangle that we saved. And recall is always going to be a pocket with an arrow coming outside of it. So let's tap that. I saved it to the machine. And you'll notice it is the last thing you save is going to be in the top left-hand corner. So I'm going to click on that and hit set. And there it is. But I need to tell it what stitch to be, because when we automatically bring it in and I go to next, it's going to make it a satin stitch. I do not want a satin stitch. I just want a plain old running stitch. So I'm going to come to my line properties. Remember, that's the grouping of 4 up here. I'm going to select my little piece of paper, and then I'm going to select the running stitch, which is this guy right here. And I am going to choose a color. I'm going to choose green. And after I've chosen my color, I'm then going to select OK. Next, what I want to do is make sure I turn on my bucket in the line properties. And then I can take my finger, my mouse, or my stylus and tap that line, and you'll see it turn whatever color you chose. That means we have told it to be a running stitch. Next, we're going to select next. And there it is. I'm not going to change anything on it. I am fine. I am happy. So if you're on a Solaris, just hit set OK. If you're on the Meridian, Altair, or Destiny, or the Brother Like machines, select preview OK, then set OK. So this is the line that's going to tack down our little side pieces. All right, we're almost done. We've got one more step. We're now going to select the Add key, and we're going to go back to IQ Design. And now we're going to go again, recall that same rectangle. So I'm going to find the pocket with the arrow going outside of it. I'm going to click it. I am then going to select where I saved it. I generally save everything to my machine. I'm going to grab that same design up here at the top left. And then I'll hit set. I'm going to click off because I want you, and I'm actually on mine, I'm going to go ahead and turn everything off so you can see it on mine. So you can see my rectangle. I don't have the red box around it or anything. What I want to do is remove just this top line up here. Why? It'll make sense later. So what I can do is I can either go in there with my eraser and erase that top line, or I can look for the box that has the broken up box or the dashed line box on there, and I can make sure that it's highlighted. This is like your selection box. And I can come over to the side. Now I'm doing this with a mouse, but watch what happens. I can come over to the side and you can see I'm drawing a red box all the way across. And then I'm going to bring it down just ever so slightly so it has captured that top line. Now, if I wanted to, I could pick it up and move it so you can see what I've done. I'm getting rid of that top line. And how to get rid of it, you just hit the scissors. Boom. So now all I have is a 3-sided rectangle. Interesting. I promise you'll see how it works shortly. So, but we have to tell it what kind of stitch line we want it to be. Because again, if I were to bring this line over, over to the embroidery side, it would be a satin stitch. I don't want a satin stitch. I just want a running stitch. So we're going to come back over here to our grouping of 4 icons. I'm going to click my little piece of paper. I am going to select my running stitch again, and I'm going to select another color. I'll do this dark blue and say OK. I'm then going to make sure my bucket's on. And again, I can either take my finger, my mouse, or a stylus and tap directly onto that line, and it turns a dark, well, I chose dark blue, so it turned dark blue. And now I'm going to select next. And there it is. My next thing I want to do is select, if I'm on the Altair Meridian or this Destiny, I want to hit, select Preview OK, Set OK. And if you're on the Solaris, you can hit Set OK. And guess what? We're done. Ow, we made it. Okay, so if you want to save this to your machine, you can, if you're going to make like the same one over and over again, but if you're going to change letters and stuff, you've got that basic square already made, basic rectangle already made in IQ Designer. But let's take a look on how to stitch this out. So I'm actually going to take this off, so don't do this, but I'm going to remove this because I saved a version of it earlier that I was working on. There it is, set, okay. And when you're ready to go, you're just going to hit embroidery, and here is what's going to happen. Okay, so we're going to take a look here at the machine. Let's get some more light in there. All right, I've already stitched out what we would consider the first 2 colors. And all that is the first, it stitches out the fill stitching and then the embroidery design. But let's talk about how we set this up. First off, what you need is in here, this is a no-show mesh. It's just a really thin, that's terrible lighting. There we go. It's just a really thin cutaway stabilizer that I love to use for in the hoop projects. Next, I have my front piece, and I have laid a piece of batting directly behind it. I have then laid that on top of my hoop. This way I'm not hooping a big hunk of fabric and you're not wasting all that fabric. So this is when I decided, when I cut my pieces, that I cut them 2 inches bigger than the box that I made. Okay, so I centered that, and then I stitched out the very first stitch, which is going to be your fill stitches, and then whatever you're going to stitch for your embroidery design. Now, what we have to do, so that was 1, 2. Our third process is to make this look a little better. There we go. Is to grab my side pieces. Here they are. And I am going to overlap these. So again, This one, for this size, I decided that I would cut it 6.5 inches this way by 10 inches this way because it's 10 inches this way, or the width is 10 inches. So what you want to do is you want to look at your line and you want to come about 1/4 inch below that line so it gets caught into the stitch line. So if I were to flip this up, you can see there's my stitch line. Well, let's get you in there. There's my stitch line, and it's going to cross over about 1/4 inch on the bottom. You can draw lines if you want to. I'm going to do that on the same thing on the back side here, over here. I'm going to overlap, and make sure the folded edges are going towards the embroidery. So I'm just going to overlap that about 1/4 inch, and then we're going to tape. So I've got my tape, and this is going to save you a lot. Now you can go and start stitching right now, but remember, when you have a foot and you have open fabric, what can happen? That foot can catch this fabric and you'll have a little bit of a mess on your hands. So what I like to do is I love the R&K embroidery pink. We always called it the pink embroidery perfection tape. Love this stuff because it's reusable. And what I'll do is I'll just take a piece and lay it completely all the way across over there. And then that way the foot can't get caught in the fabric. And I'm going to do it on the back side as well. You can also take a piece of, so you don't have any tape, you can take a piece of wash away topper and lay across it. That works too. But again, you're wasting a little bit, you're wasting some topper actually when you do that, but it does work really well. All right, there we go. When cutting, okay, 1 second. Let me see. I have a question here. When cutting away stitch top line, does it have to be entire line or can it be a portion of the line? That's where we're going to turn it inside out. So, Gia, that it's preferable to have the whole top part gone. And it'll make more sense when you see me cut it and flip it inside out and do all my fun stuff. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, hopefully, nope. I have to fast forward through some spots. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to let this tack down. Ready? There we go. Yeah, painter's tape is good. It's just, and it is a lot cheaper with painter's tape. But I like this because I can reuse it. So I can pull this off and reuse it multiple times. So that's why I think they designed it. It's really sticky, but it doesn't stick to your needle. It's the weirdest thing. It's like got this really cool glue on it. All right, so you can see better now what I was talking about. So see how that's about, well, it's probably a little bit more, but that's okay. I don't care. Nobody's going to judge this, and if they judge it, they ain't my friends. Now, with the running stitch, if you're new to IQ Designer, when you select the running stitch, yes, it goes around twice. No, you can't change it, but you can stop it when it's gone around once. I just let it go around twice because to me, that's extra stitching and extra support. Oops, oh, that's scary. There we go. Fix it. I am using a 90 needle. I use 90 needles when I'm doing multiple layers of items, or it just depends on the fabric. But since, okay, let's look and see what we've got here. We've got, because this is folded, 1, 2. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces already. So, hey, Trudy. How's it going? You know, you can always rewatch. There's no big deal at all. All right, so I am going to remove this. I like to tear off these little pieces, and then I have this awesome tape in the middle. But and I just put it on the side of my machine. So when I need it again. It like perforates it when it cuts through, when it goes through. See if I can even get that little piece, because that little piece was a bother. All right, so can you kind of see what's happening now? See what's happening? So I've got these. All right, so I got little pieces. Let's grab that one and then the next one. And now what we want to do is put our lining piece on, but we're going to put our lining piece on, but it's going to go right sides together. The other thing is, okay, so here is my design going this way, right? So you want to make sure if you have fabric that's directional, that it's going the same way as your embroidery. So if I were to put this on and the words were upside down, they're going to be upside down inside. So I want to make sure that if my embroidery is, you know, facing going this way, you know, where we're going to see it that way, then I want my directional fabric to go the same way, if that makes any sense. But what I am going to do is take it and I'm going to put the wrong side up and the right side is going to be touching or kissing the other. And I'm not going to take this down, but this last stitch is going to put everything together. But remember, it's not going to have this piece right here. Oops. So that is where I'm going to turn it inside out. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, oh, what was this? Oh, you know what? This fabric was so stinking cute. It had chickens. I cannot remember the name of it, but it also, I've used all the chickens. It had chickens. The yellow actually is chicken scratch, like little chicken feet. It's so cute. Gosh, I wish I could remember what it's called. We had it at the shop and I had to have it. And the words all say like, what do they say? Something I don't know anything about. It's all about gardening stuff. Stuff that I have no clue about. All right, look at there. It's all done. Okay. Well, let's put the spotlight back on me. There we go. Oh, hey. Okay. So I'm going to pop this out of the hoop. Literally just pop it out. And what you want to do is I do it from the back side because I can see all the lines. So see the lines? I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch away from them. And so I'm going to do it right here. I'm just going to stand up. You might see a little part of me. And I'm going to grab my cutter. I like to do it with a rotary cutter. All the straight parts, well, they're all straight parts. Sometimes if you have rounded edges or whatever. So I'm just going to cut that real quick. It just makes it so much quicker. I put the 1/4 inch mark on directly on the stitch line. So I'm cutting 1/4 inch away. This is dangerous. If y'all could only see what happens from the other side of the camera, you would be appalled. But even though it drives my mother crazy, there's a method to my madness and how messy my sewing room is. I know where everything is. Well, okay, I lie. I don't know where anything is, but I like to think I know where things are. Oh, my blade's dull. It's time for a new blade. Okay, 2 more sides and I'll be done. And then I'll show you how to turn it inside out. It's so cute. And I will give it a good press too. And post a picture when I'm done with this one. One more side. Now, here's the interesting thing. Have you ever used a fusible stabilizer? So let me show you. Okay, so here it is, right there. Now, I don't know if you can see how shiny that is. This is a fusible no-show mesh. And so when you use that, if you're going to use one, hoop it with the fusible side down, so underneath the hoop. And when you flip this inside out, you can fuse the lining to the stabilizer and it's a lot flatter. Oh. Okay, the other thing I want to do is I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut off these little edges. I just cut at an angle to get, you know, like, so, because that helps with the bulk. So you can see I'm cutting them at a little slant. Yeah, it came out really cool. I mean, did you see, Kay, how fast it was? Okay, so remember that open part that we left? Watch this. Ridiculously easy. Where's my pointer tool? Oh gosh. See, I told y'all. Can't find anything. Okay, here it is. All right. Favorite pointer tool, or whatever you want to call it. This is the R&K one, and you see how it's like flat on all sides so it can't roll away, but it's a ball point. That's so good for me because I hurt myself a lot. And, okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. Now, ideally, because I don't want to take up all your time, ideally at this point, after I get all these 2 points pushed out and pretty, get out there. What I would do is go over to the iron and press this flat. And then, oh, one already flipped over to the other side. So this is what it's supposed to look like when you first pull that one piece through. So you're going to see these guys are on the front. Now, after you press it, what you're going to do is you're going to take one side and flip it in. The other side where it's open, you're going to flip the fold over and it closes it. Oh my God. I cannot remember whose video I saw this on, but I thought it was genius. So thank you, whoever. I'm stealing your idea. Okay. Now, and then I would go and press it again and look. There it is. So stinking cute. Oh, I love that. I hope she loves it. It's for my mama. How cute does that come out? Oh my gosh, and it's so easy. Oh gosh, it was so quick and easy. But yeah, it's gonna look better after I press it, and it'll look like better. Now you could ideally, I thought about doing it. It's time to start Christmas. Yes, Teresa girl, yes. If you wanted to, you could go do a tiny top stitch around the edges if you wanted to. I thought about it, and y'all know I love top stitching. But I was like, because it's thick. So I am going to not top stitch. The other thing I did for this one, I was just playing around. So on these pieces, before I put them in, right here at the bottom, I put fusible tape in between the fold and fused it. And so they wouldn't like separate. And then I was like, I'm just wasting stuff when I do that. So it's really, yeah, I hope she does. Really adorable. So again, the rules are find your notebook, open it up and measure it, add an inch all the way around. So if it's 10 by 7, it'll be 11 by 8. And then for your fabric, cutting your fabric, add 2 inches to that number. So again, if that was that 11 by 8, then I would cut 13 by 10. And then for the 2 pieces, you'll just kind of have to, I mean, the 3-inch kind of works good. I don't see why it couldn't work good for everybody. So you could cut 6.5 inches and then whatever your width is, which was 10, and cut 2 of those, fold them. There you go. Yep. So, ta-da! So I thought this was really cute. I'm excited. I had to make 2 last night. I was just like, Jason came in here and I was like, look what I made. And I'm like, I'm making another one. He's like, oh God, you and your crafty things. So la 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 la. Thanks, Ronnie. I will. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, tomorrow, huge thunderstorms. Yeah, don't sew while you have thunderstorms. That's just not good for your machine. Okay, so I want to ooh, Diane, you could probably have is it Caroline? Draw something and then you could bring it into IQ Designer and then stitch it on there for her and then make her one. Okay, so let's go back over really quickly the giveaway. Show you, if especially if you're new to the group, you can see where to find things. So let me show you that. And I will show you, oh, I think I have to, nope, I'm up. Okay. I'm up. Let me see, can you see this? Wait, first off, let me show you all this. I think you can see this. This is the I love glitter fonts, y'all. Oh, it's so cute. So I wanted to show you guys that real quick. This is in the design database transfer that, I keep saying shoot my designs over. But look how cute. Isn't that adorable? So they've got lowercase. Going on a cruise. Ooh, girl. It's got the punctuations and then like cute little, there's the little embellishment. There's hearts, there's just cute little, I guess that's a bean. Got some other cute ones. And then the uppercase. How cute are those? You show what the applique button does. Looks like a shield does. Yeah, Cindy. I actually have, it's called, I think the video is called Making a Stamp, but I can show it. I can do that next week. I can show you guys that next week. Absolutely. Okay, so there's that, just so you can see the I love glitter font. And then let's go out to the group here. Let me get on a good screen for you. There you go. And move this guy up out of the way. Okay. So if you're new to the group or you missed when we were talking about the giveaway that's going to happen on July 10th, I think. I forgot the date. If you click on here, and this can be either in your mobile app or your my allergies are getting in your mobile app or on your computer. Now, I have said that, the the embroidery files, you can only get them from the computer and shoot them over to your machine or save them to a USB stick. I've been told that that's not true. You can do it from a mobile device, but I don't know how to do that, so I can't explain that to you. But first off, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see in the featured where it says giveaway, and it's a big pink bow. So let's click on that and let's take a look at that. So here is the post about that. So it's giveaway time and it explains everything. And we have some amazing sponsors: Hope Yoder, Paige Bartlett, Zandra Shaw, and Evie Hawkins. Evie is the one that did that queen bee design. So what's going to happen is usually I pick 3 people and everyone gets these big, gift packages and stuff. But there's going to be more stuff because I have some amazing friends, don't I? Yes, I do. So in order to be entered into this giveaway, follow the prompts below. Use one of the designs provided by Hope Yoder. I'll show you how to find them. to make a project and post it to this page, make sure to post, make sure to use the hashtag FBBL3000. That is important because that way I can find your entry when posting. You can find, and we'll talk about it. For extra entries, go, I put got, but you know what I mean. Go join these pages. Look for a Forever BB Louise giveaway post and comment on it. Now remember, if you comment on it and you don't put a design or you didn't do a project, I can't put you in the giveaway. So these are the two groups. Let's see, Crafting with Hope Yoder and Paige Bartlett made it. Also, make sure to join Sandra Shaw's group at Sew My Souls. Her Facebook group's here. And if you're on Instagram, join Evie Hawkins' group at A Bit of Stitch, but it also goes by Evie Sew. So E-V-Y, Evie, excuse me, EVYSEWS. And I need to fix that. Yes, I know. So there it is right there. So how to find those free embroidery files? Well, if you're on a computer, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here. This is the page. You've got this little ribbon with about, features, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to see files. So go ahead and click on the files tab. You're going to zoom down just a little bit and you're going to see two different files right at the top. Where it says Crazy Plant 40 weight. That's one of the files, download it. And Sewing 40 weight, download it. And you can use those two files. And they're free. Did I say free? I know we all like free up here. Now, if you are looking for past Facebook Lives, under the Files tab, you can come down here and it says Facebook Live Video List. Click on it, and then you'll have to scroll down and click on it again. It'll download however it downloads to your computer. Every computer is different. Open it up, and here are all the videos. Now, it's not updated because we are now on 72, and I've gotten through, 69 now. But let's see. And how to use it is you see the live links right there. So let's see, let's grab one. 4th of July project, number 45. Let's click on that because that's coming up, right? Well, you know, we'll be doing another one. You just hit play and there I am. Looking all dark. So you can see. There's me talking. Oh, that was my pillow. This one was really cute. I'll show you that one. Let's do stop share. And I'm still talking. Let me stop that for a second. There we go. All right, there we go. I'll show you that one. This one was really cute. This is one of my favorite ones I think we did. I really love this pillow. And I think the fabric makes it. And I got to use my cute buttons that Hope made me. And she does make and sell those buttons. And let's see. Can you remember which one you did diamonds and then with an offset with a different color? I have it hanging up there. Let me look through the list real quick. That's a good question. You're just going to see me sitting here looking at the screen, but I'm actually trying to find that for you. Oh, downloads. Okay, here we go. Now, my first videos were very unprofessional. They're very unprofessional now, but they were way more unprofessional. I wonder if it's this one. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick for you. Give me just a second. I got to sign into Facebook here. What is this? Sorry. I'm on Facebook. Oh, I see what it's doing. Okay. Give me just a split second because I think I found it, but I'm not quite sure if this is it. Let me see. I'm laughing at myself. You know what? I'm not sure. I might have to look around for it. If not, I mean, I can always show y'all next week on that, but Becky, but if not Becky Maxie, I'll look through the list and double check and see if I can find it. And I'll tag you in it if it'll allow me to. If not, I'll just make a post saying, hey, Becky, here it is. So I'll look for it. So I've got a lot of videos on there, so it might take me a minute to find it. But yeah, thanks for asking. But it's so easy. It's so easy. And it's really cute. This is what she's asking, I believe. I also have other versions of it, but you can see that it kind of made this cute argyle look. So there's the diamonds, and then you see the other background fill, and there's other ones that you can mix up too that look. Just play with them, just layer them on top of each other. They a lot of fun. So yes, Cindy, hello. Oh yeah, I'll figure it out. If not, we'll just do it again. Okay. Cindy, welcome. Yes, as soon as I end this, it's going to upload to the page and you can rewatch it at any time. You can always come back and rewatch any of the videos at any time you want to. And the good thing is you can fast forward through parts of me just making weird noises. So, all right, cool. Well, let's see what else. Let's see if I missed anything here. Yes, Cindy, I did see that. If you look on the files, it says patches, but again, I'll be more than happy to go back over it next week. Maybe we'll do like a 4th of July. Wait, when is 4th of July? That next, am I behind? I'm behind on 4th of July projects, aren't I? Okay. Crazy week. Crazy stuff. Okay, cool. All righty. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. This is really cute. I'm very proud of myself. I love when I make cute stuff. So make sure to make them, post pictures, because I love pictures. If you're going to use any of those 2 Hope Yoder designs, make sure to post it in the group with the hashtag FBBL3000, so 3,000. That way you can be entered into our giveaway, because I mean, literally, there's only like 4 people entered in. There is time to add more in. So, all right. Well, y'all have a great one, and I hope you all have a fabulous week. Let's see, anything detrimental coming up? No, we're getting good. Okay. And so yeah, thank you. I hope you all have a good rest of your Sunday, and remember to always shop local, shop small. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great one, guys. Thanks.